Disney's box office has fucking failed for the past 12 months. The only thing that has even remotely saved or even helped the Disney box office has been Guardians of the Galaxy 3. But Jake has got some more information on this whole Owl House thing. I don't know what this Owl House show is. I know it's like an animated show that they have, but he's obviously going to be able to explain this better. But for now, let's go ahead and watch Brother Jake's video, man. Shout out to Jake. Make sure you guys go over there and hit that like and subscribe on his channel as well.
Only one reason why your show would get canceled. That's because not enough people watched it. You really think it matters? All this other bullshit that, the agendas that you try to shoehorn in there. You really think the company you work for gives a shit about any of that? They don't care.
Yo, Jake stayed with this. He stayed with that cigar shit.
The Owl House was a very inspired television series. It was animated. It's crazy to think that a show that well made with that much inspiration is getting made in recent times. But the problem is that the show was canceled by its third season. Why was it canceled by its third season? Well, if you ask the creator, they'll tell you in a passive-aggressive remark that Disney simply said it didn't fit the Disney brand. All right, fair enough. But what does that mean? Doesn't fit the brand. Well, what it does mean, seeing as that Disney has a very
gay agenda,
a very interesting way of shoehorning political agendas, and a not so,
Okay, so I was close.
Oh, subtle gay agenda. Those aren't my words. Those are literally the words of a Disney executive in charge of
who, by the way, I did a video on, so make sure you guys go check that out on the YouTube channel as well.
Representation being featured in their products. So, how does a show like The Owl House get canceled? It gets canceled not because it had a bisexual chick, a perfect little character, too perfect to ever exist in our world, getting with another perfect little bisexual chick. Too perfect to exist in real life. And that's where my gripe is. You ever notice that in television and movies that, these gays and these lesbians and these trans, not that there's anything wrong with them being featured or represented or having interesting character arcs. It's the fact that they're always played by people who don't look like normal people. They don't look normal. They don't look like real life. And that's because in the world of entertainment, everything is more beautiful. Well, I don't really see things that way. I believe that queerness should be an embracing of things that don't always look pretty, but are still normal. Now, I am a heterosexual white man who thumbs through his Bible trying to figure out if he's a Christian or an atheist. But I definitely appreciate anybody who struggles with themselves and their identity.
Which, by the way, I feel like everybody does. Now, not to the extent of like you don't know whether you're a boy or a girl or a man or a woman, or you don't know what to do with your dick or your for JJ. But I feel like everybody at some point in their life does come into contact with themselves and kind of questions their identity to an extent. And I feel like, there's different ways. Every situation is different. It's the same thing when it comes to romantic relationships or friendships or family relationships. Like every situation, every person is going to be different. You are going to have to try and find a way to try and figure out who you are. So, just like what Brother Jake said, he said, hey, look, I've been thumbing through a fucking Bible trying to figure out, or at least trying to determine whether I am an atheist or whether I am.
I definitely can appreciate.
So I completely understand. It's all going to come full circle, I feel like, because he is talking about pretty much Disney, and it's not just the actors, it's not just the producers, it's not just the directors and the people. It's everybody that has this sort of mentality of, you know what, even if I don't agree with the gay shit, the weird agendas that they have over at Disney and all other stuff, as a worker, I'm still gonna have to do it. I'm still gonna have to go through with it. I'm still gonna have to support it, and silently disagree with it. To me, I think the worst kind of people are the silent disagreeers, are the people that, I completely get it. You have to, job security, money, all that. Trust me, I'm your average person. I'm somebody that works a 9 to 5. So I completely understand in that aspect. But at the end of the day, how much are you going to put up with before enough is enough? And hopefully Jake's going into that aspect of, and I went to the aspect, but hopefully Jake's going into pretty much the point of this whole thing, which is knowing who you are, so that when you are in those situations of being hired by Disney, when you are in the situations of writing a kids show, and then Disney coming and saying, "Hey, there's not enough gay shit in this," and that'll be the clear difference between you saying, "Oh, yeah, I'm sorry, let me go ahead and put some gay and bisexual people in here," or doing what a normal person should be doing is telling them to fuck off.
Where that comes from, because life is kind of a part of life that they don't teach you about at school is the existential crisis that you constantly go through when you hit your 20s, and it doesn't go away. I just turned 30. I just feel like I got better at it, better at dealing with it, better at solving my problems. And if you can't solve the dilemmas that you face in your 20s, then you're not going to stand a chance at the problems you face in your 30s, and then so on and so forth. Now, I'll be honest with you. I don't like seeing gay characters in television or movies.
At this point, I don't either. And here's the other thing. At this point, why should we know whether somebody's gay or not? Why should we know whether somebody's trans or not? Even though it's kind of clear as day whether somebody's trans or not. But you guys know what I mean. I'm not saying I don't want anybody gay because they're gay in my show or in a movie or anything like that. But when it's literally every single, and I say this all the time, literally every single TV show, literally every single movie that has one of those three things in there. Technically I have to say one of those five things, because you got to talk about black people and you also have to talk about oppression. So that's two more fucking check boxes, or two more boxes to be checked. Sorry, guys, it's late. You already know.
A reason why is because I know they are there for reasons that have nothing to do with the story. They are there because a company like Disney put them there so you would think they're the good company. Brownie points is all they're looking for.
Oh yeah, virtue signal for those ESG scores. That's why I still think that as much as Disney's losing money, I still think that they're completely backed by the world powers when it comes to the ESG stuff, which is why they're pushing the shit so hard. Which is why even with all the billions of dollars that they're losing, including the theme parks, which is their bread and butter, I think Disney's going to be okay because they're backed by the world powers. One could argue they are one of the world powers.
The only thing that those two lesbian bitches on the Owl House, those perfect little cunts and their perfect little short, cut to the ear haircuts, the only reason that they were allowed on television in the first place is not because of representation, not because Dana Torres had a really just good story that Disney wanted to invest in. It's because Disney just wanted the virtue signal. It's what they all fucking do. It's what they've always been doing. How many times are you going to have to go through this, all of us, before we realize that anything you see on television is fucking lying to you? You can't trust everything I'm saying. Believing everything that I...
Do your research. It's the one thing I always preach. Do your research. I've always said it on Comrades as well. Look, man, don't take our words for it. Go research it. And you'll know who's telling the truth and who's hiding the truth from you. And then you also have people who think they know the truth and know nothing about it. And then you have the people that deny it because they're scared of the truth. The John campaigns of the world. Yes.
have to say is about as stupid as believing what everything that anyone else has to say. And it's time that people, whether you're straight, gay, black, white, it doesn't matter. You have to get it through your fucking skull that these people running these television series, to these people who spend the money to get this shit onto your fucking Netflix account, don't give a fuck about you. Stop voting for people who don't give a fuck about you.
I'll go one further. Stop voting. Unless it's local.
Because at the end of the day, they don't give a fuck about you. 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 They don't care. They don't care.
I wonder if they give a fuck about you.
Not only have they robbed you of everything that's in your wallet, everything that's in your home, now they're coming after you as a person. Now they're enslaving you with the very device that I hold in my hand, that you hold in your hand, that your father or your mother or your children are holding in their hand at this micro instant. And then I realized that nobody is an atheist anymore. We're just all bowing our heads to a new God.
Now, obviously not all, but most. Oh man. Look, hey, shout out to Jake, man. One hell of a video, one hell of a rant. He kind of brought it full circle, to an extent, with the whole, new God thing. And he's not wrong. That's one of those things that, again, like I always say, in our day and age, it's getting worse and worse and worse and worse. And one of the things that Heavy J and I have talked about at nauseum at this point, numerous times on Contemporary Comrades, which is living in a simulation. Being able to control your reality, but while also kind of being in the confines of reality. Now, yeah, I know that it's a little head scratcher, but look, go to Contemporary Comrades podcast channel, and we'll take it away. Trust me, you'll learn a thing or two over there. But to get back to what Jake was saying about this whole new God thing, he's not wrong. Because with the videos that I show you of how crazy society has gotten, with the evidence that I bring to you guys all the time with how crazy society has gotten when it comes to tweets, the way these people react, the way how angry, how violent people are. Like it's crazy. It's crazy. The world is in panic mode. And I can't imagine, because a lot of people are saying like, oh, it was like this or it was like that back in the 80s or the 90s, whatever. I very, very briefly remember like the late 90s. But other than that, I have no recollection of the 90s. But I can tell you this. Ever since I can remember, I have not seen people as worried about humanity than in 2023. It's gotten to a point where even our entertainment has become a subject, an everyday fucking subject of whether it's actually teaching people the right thing or teaching people the wrong thing. It used to be an escape from reality until people wanted to take that escape and make it their reality, which is why we have people in the military wearing dog masks, which is why we have a dude out in Japan literally paying $20,000 to become a dog, which is why we have 36-year-old grown-ass 360-pound men in California wearing nothing but a fucking diaper and turning on a camera and saying goo goo gaga and making money and being put on the front of magazines, mainstream magazines, which is why we have the Ashton Kutchers and the Mila Kunises of the world advocating for not showering, which is why we have the Klaus Schwabs of the world running around telling you we're going to be eating crickets and worms and shit without hesitation. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section.